Hello, everybody. Prow here, and I had to come to you with huge news that just broke right now. Well, about an hour ago now, close to an hour ago. Hytale, which I've talked about recently. You've seen videos, you've seen posts from me about this. It's official. Hytale has been announced as being quote unquote saved. Simon, the new owner of Hypixel Studios and Hytale, announced it here, and he has reopened the official Hytale account that posted the trailer back in 2018, 7 years ago, almost close to exactly 7 years ago when Hytale was first announced. Now, I'm not going to go over the history of Hytale. I want to give you the details about what matters now, which is Hytale is going to be a playable game very soon. It sounds like it's going to be within the next couple of months, if not sooner than that. We could be weeks away, honestly. There is a blog post that is linked right here. I have it pulled up here, and I'm not going to sit here and read the whole blog post to you, but I want to give you the kind of basics. And I'm going to read to you this first paragraph. It's a message directly from Simon. Simon says, a new and exciting chapter for Hytale begins today. We are thrilled to announce that we have acquired Hytale from Riot Games. While it didn't make sense for them to continue developing it in its existing form, they ultimately wanted what's best for players, and that's for us to eventually play a revised version of the game. We are grateful to Riot Games for making this possible. Over the past few weeks, we have rehired more than 30 developers who know this game inside and out, with additional returns expected in the coming days. Together, we are going back to the original vision for Hytale. We are fully independent and personally committed to funding Hytale for the next 10 years. Transactions like this are rare in the games industry. Thank you to everyone for keeping hope alive. Hytale is saved. Simon, founder, Hypixel. So to give you a little bit of context around this, I won't go too far in depth because I don't want to bore you with the details, but Simon sold Hypixel Studios to Riot Games back in, I want to say about 2020. At that point, he didn't have anything to do with it anymore. But the team in the studio under new leadership continued to make the game. And after a couple years in, they decided they were going to change to a new game engine, which really set them back in terms of how much work they needed to do to get the game ready to release. And ultimately, it was this decision that probably set Hytale on a path of too long of a development period of time for Riot to continue to support it. The game had been in development for almost 10 total years by the time Riot Games dropped it. Now, huge shout out and huge W to Riot Games, because in a lot of situations like this, a game studio like Riot would not sell the game to anybody else. They would just let it sit, rot, and just disappear into nothingness. But that is not what they did. They came to this deal with Simon. So big W not only to Simon for this, but a big W to Riot Games as well for actually working with him and getting to what seems like it was probably a sensible deal to get the game back in his hands so it can release. Now, also, I just want to point out a very important thing here. We are fully independent, so Riot is no longer involved in any way, shape, or form. It is only Simon and his company, fully independent and personally committed to funding Hytale for the next 10 years, meaning that he has enough funding to pay whatever staff he has right now, at the very least, to continue to run the game for 10 years, even with nothing happening. Now, we know stuff is going to happen. It's going to happen fast. Here's the TLDR. I am going to read all of these bullet points and we'll talk about them a little bit. I did read the entire thing. I did read everything here. There's quite a lot in here to know about. But let's just start with the TLDR. So, early access date to be announced in the coming days. So within the next few days, we will have a date for when early access will begin. The fact that they're calling it early access sounds like it will not be a closed beta. It will not be a select few, although it technically could be, but it sounds like to me that this is going to be public. So within a few days, we will know when you can get your hands on Hytale. Now, here's some other information. Platform. It is only going to be on Windows at launch. Linux and Macs will be attempted, so they will try this probably pretty soon. Other platforms, so consoles, will be much later, basically after they feel like they've developed the full game and maybe even after a full release has come out. We don't know exact details, but no console launch in the near future. Pricing details to be announced in the coming days. So if you're going to be playing early access, it sounds like you will be paying for that early access. We don't know what the price is going to be. We will find out. It could be $20. It could be $60. I imagine it'll probably be somewhere on the lower to mid-end price scale, but we'll have to see. The state of early access. They're telling you expect bugs, rough edges, unbalanced content, and frequent updates that break things. Why? Why are they doing this? They know, Simon knows, he's seen it, he's not blind, that the game has been a meme for almost like Grand Theft Auto 6. It's been a meme for a game that's never going to come out. The only way to stop that meme is to release the game in some type of playable form. Nothing else would do that. He could say he could buy the game. He could say he's doing stuff. He could give videos and screenshots and updates every week. It wouldn't matter. The game would be memed to death if it doesn't come out. So I 100% agree with him on doing this. You have to get the game in people's hands ASAP because it cuts all that off immediately if people can play the game. Now, like it said here, expect bugs, rough edges, unbalanced content, and frequent updates that break things. So it's not going to be perfect. It's actually going to be very far from perfect. You're going to play the game and you're going to fall through the world, or you're going to do something silly and you're going to die, or you're going to try to interact with something and you can't interact with it. You're going to try to do something. It just doesn't make sense. It feels like there's something missing. All of these things are going to happen during early access. It's fine. What they want is as many people to play the game as possible, and they want people to put in feedback. And then they're going to get into tackling the biggest things first and then working their way down the list. Now, how long is the game going to be in early access? Well, at least a few years. They are not rushing it. They do want to get a good game out for an official release, but at the same time, they want to get something out in people's hands ASAP. Once they hit that early release for people to, or early access for people to start playing it, they have no need to rush it because they can then go through and do the things that they feel like they need to do, develop the game the way they feel like it needs to be developed, get it to a state that feels good to the people playing in early access before it gets released. I like this model generally. I've played several early access games, Pal World, Last Epoch, Path of Exile. I've played several. I mean, really, Minecraft was an early access game if you think about it, because it released back in, like, people were playing it back in pre-alpha and in beta. They were playing it from the beginning. This is a great way to do it. Get people in, let them play, and just don't release the game until it's ready to go. Now, launch content, exploration mode. I'm assuming that's a survival mode. I don't really know. I guess that's what that is. Creative mode, and then modding. Not at launch. No mini games and no adventure mode. I don't really quite know what adventure mode is. Maybe that's like a storied mode. It's been so long since I've read stuff about Hytale. I did read all of the previous blog posts. I've seen all of them, but I read them at the time, so I don't remember all the details. But it sounds like we'll probably have a basic survival mode and then a more like storied adventure mode where you maybe go through and do quests and stuff like that will come at a later point. Dedicated team. There will be a dedicated team for mini games when that happens, but I'm going to talk about mini games a little bit later. Ownership. This was stated earlier. They own 100% of Hytale. 100% of it is not, they're not a co-studio under anybody else or anything like that. We've already mentioned 10 years of personal funding commitment. So there's no investors, no publishers. They don't have to meet any goals. They can just do what they want to do. Let me tell you how good this is, because when you have private investment, investors expect a return on their investment. And then dates are set and goals have to be met and corners get cut and things happen. The fact that it is self-funded at this point is absolutely amazing. You could not ask for a better situation. They are using the old game engine, the one that Simon is familiar with because he was in development with this game at that time. He was not there when they switched to the new game engine. The original game engine was further along. I'll talk about this in just a few minutes, but this is going to allow them to get the game out faster for development. And then modding will be available at launch. This is very, very, very good because it means that the community can kind of help fill some of the gaps. If the regular survival play hits a roadblock because of certain bugs or because of not enough content or something like that, you'll have mods seemingly that are going to be available made by people not affiliated with the studio that you can hop in and play and have fun with. This is one of the things that helped Minecraft out a lot during its development because it keeps people interested in the game, even when the vanilla content may not be doing that on its own for everybody. So I'm going to skip some of the sentimental stuff here. I'm going to link this blog post down in the description below. You might want to read it all. It's some good information here to kind of help you understand, if you haven't kept up with Hytale, exactly what's going on. But here's a basic summary of some of what's happening here. So they're starting small. They have 30 developers right now. They're not going to rush to fill in a whole bunch of people just to rush the game out. They're going to start with their 30. I think they have an idea of a few more people they want to hire. But after that, they're only going to hire people when they need it and people they feel are right for the job. Again, they have things funded right now for 10 years, meaning they don't have to rush. They don't have to get the game out, or they don't have to hit full release within the next year, or they're going to run out of money and have to shut everything down. They can do things the right way without being hurried by the financial aspect of the game. This is amazing news. Right here, they're talking about the current state of the game. Basically, they're talking about old engine versus new engine here. The new engine was made for cross-platform, built on C++, and the new engine was going to have the game playable on consoles. The problem was, is the new engine was so far off of getting anything out. When Simon assessed what's going on with the new engine, and he came at things with an open mind from the beginning, like, hey, maybe the new engine is good and we can do it. It's at least 2 years out from even early access, was what he assessed the situation as. So they're abandoning the new engine, which may have had some nice benefits, especially the fact that it was going to be cross-platform. They're going back to the old engine, which is on C number and Java. Now, I'm no coding guy. I know Java is not capable of running on consoles. I think it is. And I don't know anything about C number. So if anybody that is more knowledgeable about this in the comments down below, drop and let me know. I'll pin your comment, or at least I'll respond to it and highlight it. But they're going with the old engine because it was pretty much ready for some form of release, and they still have access to everything from the old engine. And even once the old team decided to switch to the new engine, they actually kept developing things in the old engine so they could then port them over to the new engine when the new engine was done. And then here he talks about like what the game has in it. There's hundreds of NPCs, thousands of items and blocks. Not everything has a purpose. Not everything is properly configured. That could mean that you could have a block that's meant to be affected by gravity not be affected by gravity. It could mean that light is not intended to pass through a stone block, but it does for some reason. So everything's not going to be perfect. You might get drops from mobs that have literally zero purpose or are supposed to have a purpose and they don't work. So they're kind of acknowledging all these things. They want to set expectations properly up front, but all of these things are in the game now. So there will be seemingly a decent amount of actual content available to play with in some way, shape, or form. Mini games was supposed to be something that was going to be a big part of Hytale. Obviously, they're not at that point yet. There will be 0 mini games. But in the modding section, which is a few sections down from here, they did talk about the fact that everything's going to be kind of open for modders to go in and do what they want to do. They're going to have share their open source server software, I think, in the near future once they get that actually ready to go. So if somebody wants to set up their own minigame servers or multiplayer servers or whatever, the community is going to be able to do that. There's not going to be many people that know more about this than Simon, being the guy that ran Hypixel on Minecraft for so many years. He knows his stuff when it comes to this. He knows what those guys need, and he knows it's a fun and integral part to the community to have this sort of thing available. So expect there to be minigame servers made by the community out within, I don't know where it said it, but I think within like several weeks to only a couple months. It's not going to be long until that's available, and regular modding will occur almost instantaneously. In case you're wondering who the team is, this is them right here. I'm not going to name them because I don't really know anybody outside of Simon who these guys are, but he has people in leadership helping out with different things. And here's where he talks more about modding. It's possible to mod almost everything in Hytale. Non-developers can create impressive experiences. A few guides or videos will be enough for most people to start creating, so modding will not be complex or difficult. It's probably going to be a lot how modding in Minecraft is. We will provide server source code access within several months. There you go. That's the time frame I was looking for, several months, once they're legally ready to do so. Dedicated server support and data-driven content configuration, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of really cool things here, and they will be having more blog posts in the future to talk about this. And it sounds like Simon is going to be very communicative, so expect a lot of information coming out as time goes on. I would expect weekly or bi-weekly probably. And if you follow him on Twitter, you'll probably see it like unofficial updates, or if you're in their Discord, unofficial updates happen even more frequently. So this is what they're asking of you guys. If you're going to hop in and play Hytale, which I am going to be playing the game, they want you to play early access, even early on when things are kind of rough, report bugs, and give honest feedback. I always stress this part. This is something I try to do, and it's something I encourage people to do. Don't just be a yes man. Don't just try to say nice things about the game, but don't just say mean things about the game either. Give honest feedback about the game. If something's fun, say that it's fun. If something's not fun, tell them that it's not fun. Explain your reasoning why. And if you can, give constructive feedback on how a particular thing can be improved, because these things are going to help steer them and how they develop the game. This game is, at this point forward, is going to be very community driven in terms of how it develops going forward, alongside Simon and his team's vision of the game. Those two will meld into some type of nice place in the middle, I'm sure. Make guides and share knowledge with others. I'm probably going to do this, and I do think we're going to cover Hytale here on this channel. It's going to be such a closely related game to Minecraft that I believe all of you guys that are my Minecraft followers and fans will enjoy the Hytale content. No, I will not be quitting Minecraft content at all. Hytale content will go alongside it as I see fit. But there's room for me to play both of the games and enjoy both of the games. So I think there's room for you guys to hopefully watch and enjoy both of them as well. There's a link to their Discord at this link right here. Here he's saying that many of the features in the game are in their first iteration or version. I don't know any exact examples, but let's say fishing is an example. Let's say fishing is in the game. It's their first version of fishing. So it doesn't mean that that's how it's going to stay. That might even be how they intend it to be. But you still want to give them feedback on everything: crafting, upgrading stuff, your combat with mobs, combat with players, building, all these different things. Give them feedback on everything, because remember, everything is a version 1 right now, and they're willing and open to drastically change anything if they have a good enough reason to. Here's what to expect in the next few days: gameplay footage and screenshots, unpolished as is, detailed patch notes from our recent work, modding capabilities and roadmap blog posts, pricing details for different editions, plenty of updates and communication, early access release date. So that's going to be it. This is your news about Hytale. I'm super excited to talk about this because I think it's healthy in gaming to have good competition. It works great for other game genres that I play: ARPG games, RPG games, racing games, shooting games. There's a lot of different games inside of a genre, and it allows players to bounce around between the genre that they like while not getting tired of any individual game. This is going to be good because there's no big game inside the Minecraft genre directly. There's related genres, like you have Terraria or a few other. There's a few smaller games that maybe have a fraction of the following that Hytale is going to have early on, and a fraction of the following that Minecraft has. This game is going to be closely related enough to Minecraft to where if you enjoy Minecraft, doesn't mean you're going to guaranteed enjoy Hytale, but you're likely to. You're likely to enjoy it in some capacity. And maybe you don't like it as much as Minecraft. That's fine. Maybe I won't like it as much as Minecraft. I really don't know. But I want to give the game a shot. I'm going to have some fun in it, and I'll continue to play the game as long as I find it fun and enjoyable to play, and it scratches that right Minecraft itch that we've had for a very long time. And I'm sure it's going to be a game that I go back to frequently, even if I keep Minecraft as my main game, or maybe I'll keep this as my main game and maybe Minecraft will be the game that I always go back to. I don't know. But in any event, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is great news. Hopefully stuff like this helps focus Mojang and Minecraft into making their game better. Usually competition does that. No knock on Mojang right now. But things haven't been working great on the game recently. So nothing's a better motivator than a competitor coming in that has a big following to just light a fire in you to do better. A lot of us are competitive. I'm a competitive person. I do better when somebody's competing against me than when I'm just competing against myself. I think that's in human nature. So hopefully we'll see this improve the game of Minecraft on top of giving us another good game to play all on its own. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, press the hype button if you're hyped up for Hytale releasing. Let me know down in the comments below. Are you excited to see some Hytale content? Are you going to play Hytale yourself when it comes out? And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Hytale related content because it will be coming soon. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.